Hi, just in case you are unsure, this is not the National Day rally. That's at the Singapore Heartland ITE. Don't work that acronym out. Over here, we won't be talking about Kok Song, but Kok Sean. Hi, my name is Adrian Tan. I'm Adrian Tan's brother. Some may note that I'm like Adrian, but yet not. I'm like a multiverse version of Adrian, with less intellect and less metabolism. Adrian and I loved watching the comedy series MASH. For many of you, Adrian would be like a MASH surgeon. He'll be stitching you up, but also keeping you in stitches. He was as caring as he was funny, and I got the front row seat to his love and his stupid jokes. When we were young, Adrian and I would stay up late so that we could record the twice-weekly BBC World Service radio show, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, at 1 a.m. at night. I see you. We kept each other awake just long enough to hit the record and then fall asleep listening to it. Fast forward a few years later, when the teenage textbook came out, I realized that instead of a guide to the galaxy with weird creatures and their strange habits, my brother had written a book about a guide to junior college with weird creatures and their strange habits. I remember wondering at the time, why didn't I think of that? My brother was either a genius or I was a gundu. As it turns out, Adrian got into Mensa and proved he was a genius, so I was relieved I wasn't a gundu. Of course, being a gundu, I didn't realize the two are not mutually exclusive. Side note, do you know that people who join Mensa are called Mensans? That's true, right? And Mensa is the Latin word for table, so I guess Mensans are tablans. Anyway, the books were hugely popular, so whenever people asked Adrian to sign his autograph, my brother would write, "Live long and laugh loudly." So today, we're not here to have any minutes of silence. Instead, we are going to follow his instruction. And if anyone says anything remotely funny, please laugh loudly. And if it's me that said it, laugh even louder. Louder. Thank you for that spontaneous response. Today, we are here to celebrate my brother's life and writing. We are looking back to appreciate his legacy going forward. Quick disclaimer, do not use this approach when driving. If you want to go forward, look forward. Otherwise, we'll have to have another memorial. You can laugh. Adrian loved encouraging Singaporean artists to use his creation as their own platform to shine. One of those artists is Beverly Morata, who sang this hit song 25 years ago for the teenage textbook movie. Beverly, now living in the USA, has specially recorded a new version of No More Tears just for today.
As I sit here in the middle of a cloud, I'm hoping to be a little bit closer to you, Adrian. I never met you, but you have given me my career in music, and you also make my teenage years a lot less lonely. You know, when John asked me to sing No More Tears, that was basically my big break into the music scene. And so I am remembering you with much fondness and gratitude. And wherever you are in the universe, may your legacy live on, especially with the tracks that have been given a new lease of life that we've shared with everybody today. So.
Isn't it amazing how 17 can be? Isn't it so exciting
Hi, I'm Michael Chiang, and this is the magazine I used to run, which is where Adrian and I crossed paths. Once upon a very, very long time ago, I was editor of a young women's magazine called Go. I'd been a journalist at Sunday Times until 1987, when my bosses decided to send me to revamp Go and try and boost its circulation. And that's how I met Adrian, who was still in law school. I figured it would be fun to turn the traditional Agni Aunt column on its head, and roped him in to be Dear Adam. Adrian was more than game and totally nailed it, coming up with the kind of witty answers and wisecracks that would eventually become his trademark. We launched Dear Adam in 1988, and it quickly became one of our most popular sections. Within a year, it was expanded from 1 to 2 pages. His columns were even compiled into a book. Adrian and I not only shared a very similar sense of humor, we also had the same publisher. Go King published Army Days in 1985, and Adrian's classic work Teenage Textbook a few years later. When Adrian was at the book fair to promote his book, someone came up to him with a copy of Army Days asking for an autograph. He called me later, highly amused. You know, I was so tempted to sign it as you. I secretly wish he had.
So I'm that one. I'm also constantly mistaken for Michael Chiang. But I'm Ed King. I'm publisher of Landmark Books and publisher of Adrian Tan. Here are my lasting memories of Adrian. Sitting from 4 o'clock in the afternoon to 5 o'clock in the morning, editing the draft of the teenage textbook, and we had to finish it because he had to go for a debating trip with the university. I've been asked, is it easy to edit Adrian? It was extremely difficult because he was a very good writer, and the better writer you are, the harder it is to edit. And it's like polishing a diamond. The other thing I remember about Adrian is his dedication in the teenage textbook. When I read it, I looked at him and I said, you know, you've got to be very sure about it. Because the dedication read, to Angie, I'm yours for life. He was very confident, and I remember attending the wedding. I remember how he spent his first royalty check. He bought his mother a gift, a fridge. And it was just wonderful that he would do it that way. I remember the last time I met Adrian, we were at PS Cafe at Raffles City. He was very relaxed, his same humorous, affable self. And I remember sitting there feeling inexplicably proud of this young writer whom I met while he was in university, and now he was at the pinnacle of his career. And we talked about his legal work, the work he was volunteering at the Singapore Visually Handicapped, anyway, the Visually Handicapped Association. And we talked about his family, and in particular, his brother Edmund's family. And it's something that I would treasure because he was just his normal self. And I felt that he was a person in all his dealings, thinking of others. I remember Adrian with the 3 H's in his style, 3 H's, honorable, honest, humorous. And may I add a fourth, he was a human being and a gem of a human being. We will all remember Adrian for the books he wrote and what he means for us as readers and watching the films that were based on his books. But I think for most of all, we will remember him for the gentleman that he was, for his quietness and his giving spirit, doing things for others that he didn't need to crow about, but most effectively and in the most genuine and sincere way. So that's how I will remember Adrian.
Hi, my name is Lucilla. I was a junior college teacher in charge of drama when Teenage Textbook first came out. I laughed out loud when I read through the book in one sitting, and I realized that it had a wealth of material to mine for my students. So I wrote a script based on it and we performed it for the youth festival. So thank you, Adrian, for the laughter and for the joy in seeing oneself represented in a book, because at that time there were not many singlet books that my kids could enjoy.
Hi, I'm Ao Yong Waikit, and I became a teacher partly because of Adrian, and I've been a fan of the novels for years. Thanks to Adrian, my students have described my lessons as close encounters of the nerd kind. Thank you, Adrian, for molding the future of our nation.
When I first came across the teenage textbook, it was in my secondary school library. It was 2001. The movie is already out, and it was interesting. It was kind of like a Singaporean version of Adrian Mole, and it was quite fascinating because that was the year that both Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter went from print to screen. So it was very inspiring to see something like that with a Singaporean book as well.
Hi, this is Hazri Idros, founder of the Speaking Factory. When I was a teen, I knew that I wanted to go to Polytechnic, but at the same time, I was actually curious about JC life. Until I read the book, the Teenage Textbook, I got to know that there was such a thing called the 3-month JC course. So I did just that, went for the 3 month at Serangoon JC and enjoyed myself over there. And I must really thank Adrian Tan for writing the Teenage Textbook and give me this opportunity and spark the idea for this. Thank you very, very much.
Adrian and I ran in the same legal, literary, and social circles for decades. And while we were never particularly close, especially in recent years, I'd like to think that we were friends. You're going to hear a lot about his sense of humor and his effortless wit. What I'd like to say about that wit was that almost always it was a gentle one and kind, never mean or mean-spirited, just like the man. And that's how I'll always want to remember him.
I first met Adrian Tan Gim Hai when he was a member of the NUS debating team. I was on the University of Malaya debating team, and I think we met at least twice, and NUS won both times. I remember when we were in the SPC InterVarsity debates in 1990, and Adrian waved a book in the air and he said, in the Oxford Dictionary, and then he thumped it on the table and said, this is the definition of this particular word, and he went on and on. It was all very theatrical and dramatic. But as I got to know Adrian over time, I realized that he didn't need the theatrical. He rarely actually used it in his real life. He never needed anything more than what he had, which was a perfect, inborn comic and dramatic timing, all of his own. Tempered with a deep humility and a genuine affection for the people he interacted with.
I'm Mrs. Fanny Tan. I used to teach in ACS Secondary and then at ACS Independent. I was an administrator, deputy principal there. Adrian was in my class in 1981, some 42 years ago. And I can remember him very well and with great fondness. Adrian's composition was so interesting to read that I used to take home his composition book and read it to my kids and say, kids, you have to listen to this composition written by my student, and they will be regaled by his humor, his sense of humor.
So I can't even remember when Adrian and I started becoming friends. Just when I'm talking about Adrian, a rainbow just appeared in the sky. The one person in the whole wide world that I can be completely unfiltered with. Like, I can ask him anything and he will give me an answer. He's a pretty special person, and we miss you, Adrian.
Hi, this is Adrian Pang, one of the 3 Adrians who were the Triangle of Terror in Sec 3A ACS 1981. Now, I remember this one occasion where after a particularly horrific math exam, the whole class was in turmoil all of us gathering in groups to bitch and whine about how terrible the exam had been. And Adrian Tan approached our group and, in his own inimitable Adrian Tan way, just dropped one word: aftermath. Classic Adrian Tan, always the eye of the storm and one of the funniest human beings I've ever known.
I remember my very first interaction with Adrian. It was at a Christmas party a few years back. He came up to me, he shook my hand, and the very first thing he said to me was, "What an awful shirt." I was wearing an Arsenal shirt, like this. This was long before I knew he was a lifelong Spurs fan, or a long-suffering Spurs fan, as he might call himself. Arsenal and Spurs, if you don't know, have a long, heated rivalry with each other. It tells you a lot about someone when they pick a club like Spurs, when they support a club like Spurs, a club that have not won anything objectively in the last 20, 30 years. It tells you that this person is resilient, this person is loyal, and that he loves his club. These are all qualities that everyone should have, and Adrian embodies those qualities.
The first time I watched the Teenage Textbook movie was at its 20th anniversary. It instantly became one of the favorite things that I've ever watched. It just had such a raw and funny and genuinely witty tone to it. I think as a creator, it's a very important reminder of why you should put your voice out there, no matter what the social climate is, to dare to say what you want to say, and to make sure you're having fun while you're at it.
So, if you recall, Adrian did a cameo on PCK, and he played the role of a mafia boss, which is very fitting because one of his favorite movies, all-time favorite, is The Godfather. It was a interesting character because as PCK's client and also a mafia boss, he had lines, but he didn't have to say them, he just mumbled them. And I wish I had that kind of rule. But anyway, so he will mumble his lines and then his bodyguard would translate those lines.
Hello, how are you?
My boss wants to know, everything okay?
Actually, can you tell your boss there will be a small delay?
My boss say, what?
And you would think, oh man, that's such a cop-out, such an easy thing to do, just mumble. But that's not Adrian's style, you see. Adrian actually brought value to the character. He brought more to the table. He was that kind of guy, right? In real life as well. So I'm glad that I had a chance to have that episode with him. Yeah, he will be missed.
Adrian and I were together in the 1981 ACS production of Oliver, the musical. He was Bill Sykes, I was Fagin, Adrian Pang was Bromlow. And it was that show that propelled me to choose acting as a career. As for the Adrian I remember today, there was a lifelong involvement in humanity, seen in his writing, his advocacy, his humor. We laughed a lot in those days. And sometimes the jokes were terrible, but he was just so funny. So, cheers, man. Thanks for making it a point to leave us with a smile.
And now, singing Falling in Love, the award-winning hit theme song from the Teenage Textbook movie, please welcome live the Paya Lebar Junior College Alumni Choir and Mr. John Klaas.
All right, everyone, come on, let's clap your hands. Come on, let's do this together, okay? You know this one, don't you? Oh, it's Falling in Love from the Teenage Textbook movie. Sing along if you know it, yeah? The first time when I glanced of your face, I just knew that our love was meant to be. Take my hand, don't be afraid, girl. We'll make it through to our destiny. Oh, just slide right into my soul. Walk right in, let your feelings flow. You can get there, baby. Just open your heart and let you're feeling unsure, just look deep inside you, then you will know. It's our story of love. Oh, yeah. A broken heart isn't always a bad thing. Another day, another time, it'll come to pass. There's more to this than getting by. We could all work out if only we tried. Oh, just slide right into my soul. Walk right in, let your feelings flow. You can get there, baby. Just open your heart and let go. We are falling in love, oh baby. It comes just right up above, oh lady. When you're feeling unsure, just look deep inside you, and then you will know. Now we are falling in love, oh baby. It comes just right up above. When you're feeling unsure, just look deep inside you, then you know. It's our story of love, baby. I'll be there when you need. When I need you. Oh yeah. Then you will know. We are falling in love. Just right up above, lady. When you're feeling unsure, just look deep inside you, then you will know. Oh, we are falling in love now, baby. It's just right up above, lady. When you're feeling unsure, just look deep inside you, and then you will know. Story of love. Oh, yeah. We are falling in love. Such a special feeling. We are falling in love. Be there when you need me. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Philip Lim. I'm the director of Teenage Textbook. On 8th July, when I received the sad news, I messaged Edmund how Adrian played a big part in my TV and movie career. And when Aking later messaged me that if I could say a few words today, I agreed immediately. Even though as a director, I'm more comfortable behind the camera. So I try to be funny. Can you just encourage me a bit? I remember after I finished reading the books way back in 1989, and I told myself, I want to make it into a movie. And then in 1997, I met Adrian for the first time in a restaurant along Boat Quay. I was trying very hard to impress him. He's a very famous person, as you all know. Adrian just said, sure, it's yours. My only request is it must have a lot of local music. That was easy. It was just a handshake deal. A couple of weeks later, I found out the group approached Adrian and offered him a better deal if he gave them the movie rights. Adrian told them he really shook hands with me. There was an important life lesson that moment. Handshake deals are important. Making the movie in 1998 wasn't easy. We had difficulties finding a school. Somehow we managed to persuade the principal of St. Nicholas Girls' School to allow her premises to be Paya Lebar Junior College. But on the third day of filming, we were given 3 hours to pack our equipment and leave. The principal caught some of the film crew smoking, and they were also topless. Okay, it was a very hot afternoon, but it was also a girls' school. We had to throw away all the classroom scenes because St. Nicholas was our last resort. It was organized chaos because we had to rewrite so many scenes. I mean, fun thinking back today, but no fun back then. The movie premiered and the rest is history. That's why you are here. And, oh, okay. I do not know how to respond to that. But thank you anyway. Hey, I'm pretty good at this, huh? I didn't know that. and yes, it had a lot of local music because Adrian requested it. And this is the CD cover. So through the years, the movie was screened at festivals, schools, and special events. The organizers would invite Adrian and me for the post-screening Q&A sessions. We were like a stand-up act. He's the star and I'm just a sidekick. But I'm okay with it, really. I think. No. You see this photo here? The movie was screened at this very well-known school. Guess the name of the school? St. Nicholas Girls' School. There's a second life lesson here. Just because you were rejected and got kicked out, you'll be invited back if you are a success. Just don't smoke and go topless on the premises. But really, I met Adrian for lunch often, just for a catch-up. He paid for all the meals because we all know lawyers make more than TV directors. One evening, Adrian called, very excited. Phil, I have a TV drama series concept for you, a show about the behind the scenes of a law firm. Imagine an eye roaming its corridors. I titled it The Pupil. The Pupil premiered on Channel 5 and became this acclaimed TV drama series. Lawyers talking and talking and talking and talking. Okay, it has Rebecca Lim as a breakthrough role, and Adrian was a series consultant. So fast forward to 2010. During our regular lunches, Adrian asked, Phil, why don't you make another movie? I told him, making one is the easy part, is finding the money. He told me, pitch me a movie then, see if I'm interested. And I did, and I made this movie. Homecoming. Bet you didn't know it was Adrian Tan, right? He was my first movie investor. A couple of weeks before I started filming, Adrian told me to go down to his office to pick up his check, his portion of the movie investment. I told him I needed more time to draft out a contract before I dare take his money. I mean, he's a lawyer after all, right? Yeah. He just said, Phil, never mind the contract. Come down to my office and pick up the check. Your word is good enough for me. Back to life lesson number 1. Handshake deals are important, especially with Adrian Tan. He was not a senior lawyer already. He was a good friend who trusted me with a large sum of money. So Homecoming became this Chinese New Year blockbuster in Singapore and Malaysia. I'm very thankful I have a good career in television and movies because I first read the books way back in 1989. Adrian had this wit and gift to write. We will always have this, the teenage textbook, to make us laugh, to give voice to young people and even adults. Because I wasn't an adult when I read the book. Our first crush, our first heartbreaks, our disappointments, just trying to make sense of it all. Last page. Life lesson number 3. Something that Adrian taught me. Storytellers out there, your stories matter. You have no idea how you can inspire someone and have an impact on their lives. That's what he did for me. Thanks, Adrian.